right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the Ohio TV podcast. We're back, y'all. We come back. It's me. It is Bree. I am Will Baldwin. This is the Ebony Empress Bree. And this is Lontay Gaines. Welcome, Lontay Gaines.
Thank you.
Alante Gaines. So we're gonna dive deep into culture today. The hidden and truth behind the plant, the people connected to it, and our special guest is Lante Gaines. She's a mother of three, a wife, a mental health warrior, a true voice for healing communities. Born and raised in the West End of Louisville, she's made it her mission to change her narrative around therapy, self-care, and what it means to prioritize your mental wellness, especially in your communities of color. She holds a bachelor's degree in sociology, holds a master in clinical health counseling, is a licensed professional counselor advocate, and is also a author of one of our great articles in our mag, actually our first issue of Ohio TV. Um, Her passion, transparency, and ability to speak the truth with love are just a few of the things and reasons why we had to have her here with us. And she's a wonderful human. So welcome to the show. We're glad you're here. You excited?
I am. I'm a little nervous now after that, but I'm good.
We always hit everybody with a big grand intro, and they'd be like,
Yeah.
"Dang!"
Yeah.
Well
Okay.
deserved.
It is well deserved. Okay, so let me ask you our main question: do you use cannabis?
Yeah, absolutely. All the time. I've I've scaled back on how I want to use it now, but it's definitely a part of my life.
Gotcha. Cool. So, can you share a bit about your background, what you led or what led you to pursue a career in mental health and also like critical counseling, kind of in that area?
Oh gosh. Long road before I got to mental health. I was originally a social worker. I thought that was my passion. And then I realized the way you can help in social work is very limited. Anytime you go beyond your scope, it's like, oh, that's not our business. That's not we don't take care of that part. And that never sat well with me because I worked with little kids. They were being abused or they were taken away from their home, things of that nature. So that was the beginning to where I just started to explore what else was out there for me because I didn't feel right being a part of something like that. And then what really hit it was I had my first child and I went through postpartum depression really bad. Had no idea what the hell was going on. I've never experienced anything like that in my life. I've never heard about it. And then the more I went to see my doctor, I think, and he really kind of just overlooked it like it was normal, which it is normal, but for someone that was, ignorant to what it was, he brushed over it and just gave me some medicine. The medicine took away one symptom, gave me another symptom, and I was just like really outdone. After I, went through the motions, I did some research. Like, what was that? What was I going through? And I was stunned to find out that this is something women go through all the time. But for somehow, I didn't make it to my community. It didn't make it to me. I didn't, hear anything about that. So I got really passionate about spreading the word about postpartum depression. And then the more I got into it, it's like, oh, this is mental health. Didn't really know much about that. So I felt like I'm always feel like signs and God does things for a reason. So I felt like that was my mission to help people and help my people that might be in a position that like I was in and didn't know what to do or to feel like they were losing their mind. Because I didn't want to tell anybody the stuff I was going through. I'm like, people gonna think I'm a little crazy, so I didn't want to tell anybody. But now I like to, set the platform for people to speak on the things that they're going through and not feel like it's a foreign thing. So that's really how I got really planted into the mental health community from my own experience.
Right. Right.
That's
So it sounds
very
like you have,
powerful.
yeah, a good relation to it too as well. So
Absolutely, yes.
okay, gotcha. So as someone raised in the West End of Louisville, how did your environment shape your perspective?
Oh gosh, well, you know, as African American period, we all got the crazy aunt, the crazy uncle, the ones that don't have a filter, or the ones that just might, act out in certain situations. We were raised to think, that's normal. That's just them. That's how they are. The more I dove into mental health, I was like, oh, that's a problem. That's not just how they are. They probably need some help. So
Mhm.
at first, I didn't think nothing of, the norms of what we were used to. But now, as a professional or just diving into it, I realized that it's not just one sided. It's not just, that's just how they are. These are things that we really need. And I think because we didn't get that stuff, it shaped us in a place of survival, in a sense, if that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. As one born in Louisville, it's a rough city. Like when you don't talk about the areas that are kind of celebrated. You know what I'm saying? When we talk about a Newburgh, when we talk about like outer skirts of J Town, like these smaller pockets of communities that have these issues. So yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Which I still
Um.
love West End Louisville. Ain't nothing wrong with West End Louisville.
Hey, the West End, the best end, as they say.
It
That's the
is.
best end. There you go. There you go. All right. So, how do you balance being a therapist, a wife, a mother, a mother, a business minded woman? How are you superwoman? That's basically is the question.
Question. It comes down to practice what you preach a little bit. As
Hmm.
a therapist, we give out tools, we encourage self-care, we encourage, boundaries and all those things. So it comes down to, prioritizing yourself sometimes. With a woman that wears all these different hats, you are pulled in so many different directions and you want to be present in all those directions. But it comes down to listening to your body, knowing when you need to take a break. I set really hard boundaries. I'm on strict routines and schedules, and I just make sure I pour into myself as much as I can, as much as I pour into other people. So making sure that I'm a priority as well is one of the biggest ones.
That's
Gotta fill your own cup.
Yes,
hmm
that's one.
can't go in glass half full. It's gotta be full, ready to go, ready to go.
Can't be
Oh, not just full now. We talking about.
I see people all the time. They're like, I do this and I do that. I'm like, well, how are you taking care of yourself? Oh, I don't know. You're pouring from a dry cup. I call that. Say it's a dry cup, and you're probably
Hmm.
not showing up as your best self as you would want
Yeah.
to, because you're pouring from nothing at that point, from fumes.
Right. Okay, so we're moving on to therapy, stigma, and breaking the mold. You often say no one is coming to save you. It's time to get up. Where does that mindset come from, and how do you instill that in your clients?
Oh, that's a good question. That is one of my mottos, that no one is coming to save you, because I know a lot of times people get caught up in, I got this person, why isn't anybody coming to help me? And I just feel like it starts with you. You want change, you want something different. We have to do something different, and relying on other people that have their own day-to-day stressors or their own issues is not a healthy thing to do. And sometimes I feel like we all look for a hero, I feel like, and I feel like we got to be our own hero. You got to be your own, put your own cape on and come in and
Yes.
swoop in and save your own day.
Yeah.
Because if you sit around waiting on people, you might be waiting for a very, very long time. And,
This is true.
Right.
so that is
Stunting your own growth.
Yeah.
absolutely, you have to. And it might be foreign to some people, but you're very much so capable to do so. So,
Exactly. I
yeah.
love that. Very important message. Um, in our communities, therapy is often stigmatized heavily. What are the common barriers you see, and how do you break them down for people of color?
That's a great one too. A lot of the stigmas I see, I hear people that when they come in, they're sometimes hesitant to tell me the truth. The stigma is, what happens in our house stays in our house, or we don't tell people what's going on. And I always tell people, I can't help you on lies. I can only help you if we break it on down and we get to the nitty gritty of things. I think people don't realize that therapy is a confidential thing. We can't go around telling our neighbor or telling anybody what or who I see or what we talk about. So I try to instill that, getting down to the truth of things, or the things that you don't speak about, or things that's in the back of your mind that you will never speak out your mouth. That's the parts that I want to talk to. That's the parts we need to speak to. That's the only way we can heal, even, I always hear people say, so I focus on upbringings a lot, not because your parents were horrible, not because you had a bad childhood. It's because, certain situations and circumstances translate certain ways in our minds. Well, we don't talk about it, if we don't speak about it, you never know how your translation might be misconstrued, or you might need to process it to understand why things happen the way they happen. When people come in and they don't want to talk about things like their upbringing or their parents, I always hear, I had a good childhood. My mom was a great mom, and I'm sure she was, but she was human as well. She made mistakes as well. And that can translate in so many different ways, all the way down to sibling dynamic order. Like, we translate things in so many different ways that if we just break down those walls, we can get all the way down to it and get to healing. So I think a lot of the stigma is coming in and only telling half of the truth, only speaking on the surface, when therapy is so much more than that.
See, this is why I think she's such a great therapist, because I understand that. Like, I had to learn it on my own. I didn't have the help of Alante, but what she's teaching is profound. Because I've had, like I said, learning how to do it on your own and going through the experience and having to experience it and getting to that stage took me so long. Took me forever to get there. You know what I'm saying? So I really commend you for helping people to get through that stage. I do.
Listen, I had to get through that stage myself. It's hard, and I commend you for doing it on your own, because that's a tough thing to do. To understand that parents are human. What you went through was not a slap to them, but we got to understand these things. So we can heal and get to the other side, because we carry on. People don't realize how much we carry from our childhood, from our upbringing. And I'm a believer that we live through our experiences, our traumas. I call it walking through life with old lenses, pretty much. And we have to look through it in a new lens of healing, so we can get past things. So absolutely.
I love that. That's definitely important, getting to the bottom of things.
Yes.
How do you use a holistic and eclectic approach to therapy in your sessions? Can you break that down for our audience in layman's terms?
Absolutely. I am, if you ask any client that I have that want to jump to medication right off the bat, I'm not your girl. I do not believe in medication. Now, if we went through the whole nine and we can't manage our symptoms independently, then absolutely, I will recommend that. I'm not giving it to you. I'll send you to somebody that will. But I feel like I said earlier, it starts with you. And I feel like we all have what we need inside of us to heal ourselves. We just have to get to the work. We have to do the work. You have to be dedicated to the healing. You got to be dedicated to the best of yourself, or the best quality of life of what you want and what you need. And I always feel like what you're seeking is seeking you as well. As long as you look for it, as long as you tap into that. But I feel like we all got it inside us, even if the most depressed person, you got it inside of you to heal yourself. Because again, nobody's coming to save you. You got to figure that out. Whether it's with therapy, whether it's with, starting somewhere, I feel like we all have it inside of us. If you really want to do better, feel better, see better, It starts with you.
I love that. That's a very like conscious approach. It sounds like those ideals that you mentioned are very like they resonate with me, you know?
Absolutely.
Some people would mark it as like hyper aware. You know what I'm saying? It's not being hyper aware. It's just being conscious of what's
It's
going
literally
on. You know what I'm
just,
saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had people
Yeah.
say it's insensitive to say it that way a little
Yeah.
bit, but I'm not the coddling therapist. I might not be the one for you. I'm not gonna coddle you. Because everybody around you's been coddling you. Everybody around's
Yeah.
been, stepping on eggshells. And I'm like, you want to get to the other side? We rip the Band-Aid off. I hold the sugar. I have very little sugar for you to give, but it's all out of love. It is definitely out of love because I've been there. I'm looking for somebody to save me. And when I realized nobody was coming, it took a lot of hard work. It took a lot of me believing in myself, and trusting myself at the same time. I trust me more than I would trust another human, so you have to start somewhere. And it's not me being insensitive. It's coming out of everything I speak about is out of experience. I've been there. I don't believe in just talking out my butt. I've been there. So I can attest to it. You have to get up. You got to do it.
Yeah. But it's truth though. Like it does start with you.
Absolutely.
Like you do have to go within and do the work. Like that's legit.
Yes.
So I appreciate you coming on and saying that.
Yes.
As a health, a mental health professional. Moving along, cannabis and mental health. The dynamic duo. Your article in OH-HighYo magazine focused on cannabis as a stress relief tool. What inspired you to write about that?
Gosh, so many different things. I love marijuana, cannabis. I love it. Not at first, it was started off as a recreational thing for me in college, But then, in so many different aspects of my life, it's helped me to be better. As cliche as it is, it helped me and my husband like reconnect, reunite. When we were in college, we had broke up for a little while. Neither one of us was smokers before we broke up, but that's how we found our way back together, and we've been here at rocking ever since. But also, I feel like there is a bad stigma around cannabis, about people that think, you're lazy or you can't be productive, you can't be successful. And I'm a witness that you can. I don't know if I would have made it through my graduate program without, having that stress reliever a little bit sometimes, or just life, But then the more I got into the cannabis realm, I'm a big researcher. I like to read. The people that really stick out to me are Rastafarians. The way that they practice cannabis use, they talk about being it's a connection between them and God when they are using cannabis. And I felt that a lot of times, we can't hear our own voice because there's so many different voices around, so many different opinions, so much social media, all that. But I feel like when I use cannabis, I can hear my own voice. I can sort through things. I'm like, oh, okay. I didn't get that when I was completely sober, but now it makes sense. I can hold myself accountable. I've found where I'm like, okay, I didn't have to react that way. It just feels a lot clearer. And I also feel like I talk to, the Most High when I am in that realm. I could do it outside of that, of course, but I feel like it's a deeper connection. So with my article, I am speaking on, the history of cannabis, just trying to show that it's not just about recreational use. These are things that heal us. These are things that help us. And I think people need to see that more than the bad stigma that it has of the laziness, the unproductivity. And I know people that are using it that way, but it's also, too much of anything is a bad thing. So if we use it in the right way, that's why I said when you asked me in the beginning, do I use cannabis? Absolutely. But I've had to change the way I use it more strategically, if that makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. And we appreciate you, bringing that wisdom to the community. about using cannabis more consciously. It's very important.
Yes.
How do you see cannabis fitting into the mental wellness conversation, especially as both a mental health professional and someone immersed in the culture?
Well, I have just started looking into that. Well, I had an idea not too long ago where I'm like, when I get fully licensed and possibly have my own agency, I might want to incorporate marijuana into a session, depending on how that can go. Because I feel like it helps loosen people up. It's conversation piece sometimes.
And it opens you up.
Yes. I have people that when they first come in, they're a little timid, rightfully so, talking to a stranger about my business. But at the same time, when you're with your friends and we smoking and we're passing, we start talking about all type of things. We start getting really down into the nitty gritty of things. And I feel like that welcoming piece of it will help with clients as far as getting to the next phase of healing. I've had clients that I've had for about a year and a half, and they'll come in and be like, okay, now I really want to talk to you about this. Now I trust you. I'm like, now we've been talking about all type of things, but it took them a while to get comfortable.
Yeah.
I think with that piece of it, we'll kind of not speed it up, but if you see your therapist, your professional across from you, like, we good, it's okay. I think that will make me feel a little bit more comfortable too. But the more research I've seen, psychedelics is a therapy. Psychedelic therapy is a thing.
Yes, from like mushrooms. Yes.
Yes, and I am intrigued with that so much. They don't have marijuana as a psychedelic, but I would add that into it. So that's one of the credentials I want to get is become a psychedelic therapist. Making people, again, the stigma, changing that stigma that these things can help us more than deter us. And if I can meet you where you are so you can get to your best self, I don't mind doing that. I think it'll be fun. I think it'll be pretty interesting. So it's funny you asked that because that's where I am right now, trying to get as much research as I can of it's funny that they allow psychedelics, but I got to have, be in a state that is okay with marijuana for me to do that because, that's a drug as well.
Kentucky just legalized it for medicinal purposes. So
so we on our way.
Might be right. That's right up the alley.
Moving on up.
There you go.
Yes. Okay, so what do you say to clients or individuals who still hold on to the just say no narrative or fear the stigma around cannabis?
Going back to DARE 1995.
DARE program.
Yeah, DARE program.
DARE program.
I get it. I'm not a pusher or anything like that. I'm not going to push you to try something that you don't want. But I also get why people stay away from it. I've had people talk about, and this is nothing that I talk about in therapy either. Not right off the bat. This is something you have to kind of bring to my attention. Or I have people that say, oh, I'm embarrassed. I was smoking and this. And I'm like, oh, okay. Now I can really talk to something else in this sense of how you're using marijuana, But it's some people that are afraid, they have addiction as a history of in their history or their family history. So I don't knock any of that, It's your preference. It's all about what you desire and what you want to do. Now, if you come asking me about my experience and how it will help with, what you have going on, that's a little iffy too. It depends on what you got going on. If you have certain symptoms going on, I would not recommend marijuana. If you're taking certain medications, I would not recommend that. If you have trouble being motivated, self-starting, I would not recommend it right now. So it's a slippery slope sometimes. It depends on who I'm talking to, what we're talking about, but
definitely.
Yeah. It's not anything that I just go around advertising. We have to be probably a long-term client of mine, or you brought it to me first. I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'll open up that door, but
definitely.
It's up to you.
Okay, I love that. We're moving on to our next segment. We are going to be entering the Hempress house.
Okay, I like that.
Thank you so much for being here today, Alante.
Of course.
So the Hemper's House is just a moment that we take in the middle of the show to kind of step back, take a breather, and be more mindful and just have some gratitude, about our personal relationship with the plant, with cannabis. So I just have a couple questions, and really, I feel like you touched on question one, but if you want to add anything,
okay,
just simply, if you could describe your personal relationship with cannabis. Some people say they have a, just recreational use, medicinal, spiritual. How would you like to describe that?
Oh, I love that question. I would say I'm in love. We go together real
Okay.
bad.
I love that.
Your perspective.
That's
Okay.
beautiful.
Yeah. I love, now it's not anything that I introduce my little children to or anything like that, but I feel like it is a part of my life. It's a part of who I am. And I feel like it, that is a great question, actually. That is a really good question. But yeah,
Thanks.
I think I would say that we're in love. That's probably my second,
That's my boo thing.
Yeah,
Second love. That's so
my little sticky
beautiful.
link. But also someone that that I feel like it brings togetherness a little bit.
Yes.
Anytime that say me and my husband are we don't really go at odds, but it might be a little tension sometimes. That will break the ice. Even in relationships, friendships, I feel like it's always been a common ground to where we can find each other again a little bit. So I love cannabis. We in this, we locked in.
Very well said.
Oh, just
And I feel like
in
that's the
there,
first
bro.
time someone really mentioned
In
cannabis
there.
as like
Man.
personal relationship. That's really
Yeah.
beautiful to put it that
Yeah.
way. That y'all in love. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. And I hope she loved me back.
Period. You know it.
It feels that way. It feels that way.
And that's the energy like of cannabis too, like love, life.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's a spiritual journey. I think it is.
Healing.
Yes, that was the other one you said, the spirituality. And like I said earlier, I've always feel like I can hear my clear thoughts. I feel like I can clearly hear from God. I can hear from him at any time. But I feel like when I'm really like I said, using it for a purpose, strategically, I can really get that spiritual connection that I'm looking for, or understanding, or maybe I've been seeking for something for a long time. And a lot of times, because we're in that hustle and bustle of life, we miss it. We miss the signs. We miss, if you're a spiritual person, you miss it. But cannabis has a way of calming us down, sitting us down. I feel like it focuses me a little bit, if that's what I want to do. And I can hear my voice. I can hear God's voice clearly, not leaning on my own understanding of things, but really hearing it. And I know it's not just my understanding, because I get whooped by God sometime, where he's like, now,
He be coming in there and he's throwing them haymakers. He be like,
yeah. Telling me I need you to go and do this. I heard it last week, but I didn't want to acknowledge that. But if I'm in a place where I'm trying to connect, I can hear him very clearly. So it's a love language to me, in a sense. So it's a love language. It's a spiritual connection. So all that. Absolutely.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That was absolutely beautiful.
I swear, you get like some of the craziest perspectives from that question. That's like one of my favorite
questions.
It's my favorite question on any part of the show. It really is.
This is the heart. This is the heart and soul right here.
Yes. Great question.
And then just one more question, nothing crazy. It's a little bit of a scenario, so you have to use your imagination a little bit.
Oh, okay.
No, don't say uh-oh. Okay, so just imagine cannabis as it is in its beautiful uniqueness, is a divine expression of Mother Nature. And let's say Mother Nature, the Most High, whatever, universe is trying to speak to us, maybe to you, that personal message, words of wisdom. What do you think is coming out from cannabis right now, in your own words?
Ooh, saying to me individually or to the world?
Either or. Whichever you feel is, more channeled to speak on today.
Wow, that's a deep question too.
It's very deep. Like I said, this is the deepest moment of the show.
It's deep. Okay, maybe I can speak on both. Because like I said, I feel like it's a connection sometimes. And in the world that we're living in right now, everybody's so separated, so departed, so in a place where we are not connected like we used to be. We're not, neighborly like we used to be. But I've seen that all types of different people, all different walks of life, partake in cannabis. And maybe right now she would probably say that we all need to get back to that, to be connected again, to look at each other as brother and sister, not with race, color, ethnicity, any of that, but the humanistic side of things, because we are all human. And that's one thing I've learned in therapy. It doesn't matter who you are. We all have the same experiences. It might look a little different. It might sound a little different, but Sally Sue has the same upbringing as I've had growing up in West End Louisville, so if Mother Nature is speaking to all of us right now, she's probably wanting us to connect with one another, because these are hard times and we can't be against one another. We togetherness is the only way we're going to make it out of where we are right now, and anything else that will come our way is being together. I always think about, if something was to happen to where maybe, God forbid, somebody bombs the U.S., are we going to still look at each other as, black, white, man, woman, transgender, all that? Or are we going to reach out and help our fellow person? Are we going to say, oh, you can't come over here? Are you not going to give help? And in the way that it's going, that's what it feels like. So I would say that she probably wants us to reach out, gather our people so that we are one and not separated. Because I feel like there's only one race, and that's the human race, Individually, girl, you got us deep on here. Hold on.
Powerful.
Individually, I think she would say to me, I'm always here. But you've been using me in a way that is for your own personal benefit. And now I want you to use me in a way that benefits others, in a way that speaks to people, that brings people, or to help people, heal people. In a way that is not just recreational, but for a purpose. So, and that I just got that recently, and how I use or partake in cannabis.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Very powerful channeled messages, and we needed that. Those messages, honestly, you thought that one was for you? It was for.
That was for the universe. Yeah,
definitely.
It was for everybody.
And the message on community, I feel that very deeply as well, because community is very important, but we need to all have been doing that work inside. Worry about, we should be able to lend a hand and not worry about someone, stabbing us in the back when we turn around after doing, you know what I mean? And that's because people need to do the work in their, in their own heart. So,
Absolutely.
and that's that green chakra. That's the love. We need to be walking in love.
Yeah.
So I love that so much. Thank you so much. You want to take it, Will's corner?
I will take it. Okay. Take it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to tweak Will's corner a little bit. All right. And behind me, as you can see, this is my wall of superheroes. All right. My favorite superhero is over here. That is Green Arrow. As you can see, he rocks with me every episode. My question to you would be, do you like superheroes?
Dislike them, but I'm not knowledgeable with them. about
I
them.
got you. So I want to get, who are your boys' favorite superheroes?
Gosh, Spider-Man, Black Panther. I think I'm gonna leave it there because they're gonna say, "Mom, you're lying. Don't go any further." So I'm gonna say Spider-Man
Okay.
and Black Panther.
So out of the two names, all right. So we're gonna say Spider-Man and Black Panther. Okay. Out of your boys, who would act like either more character? So who would act like Spider-Man and who would act like Black Panther?
My middle boy, his name is Azriel. We call him Az. He will probably be more like Spider-Man. He's gonna come. He's the theatrics. So if he can and save somebody, I think he would. And my oldest boy, Azel, he is the sweet, compassionate one. He's selfless, very selfless. So he would probably be Black Panther and always putting himself to the side for the better good of everybody else. So
That's right. Since T'Challa is a king, that fits the description very well. So
yes,
okay.
good question.
That's all my questions. That's all I got this time. That's all I got.
He's not gonna hit you hard with the superheroes since that's not.
Nah, I'm not gonna. See, her boys are like superheroes.
No, that was a good spin. That was a good spin.
Yeah.
Did I make you have to change it up?
There's some where I get to talk about it. There's some that I'm not. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I've been on the good,
out.
bro. I've been on the street, but sometimes it comes to
you can hit me with it. I can try to adjust. I can adjust me with
You
it.
want to hit it with the sex? If we had to, okay, it's gonna be rough. Right? We had to put Spider-Man against Black Panther.
Ooh.
Who would win in a battle?
Black Panther all day.
Period.
He got heart. It's the heart.
Hey, why you make that face?
You disagree, Will?
No, I agree. I'm looking at my little toy like, hey, bro. That's Black Panther up there, yes. Like, hey, bro.
That is funny.
It's the heart. It's the culture. It's the
Yeah. I like Spider-Man. Spider-Man is an everyday man. Homeboy get beat up. He's struggling out here. He losing jobs.
Losing women. Yeah.
Losing women.
And his heart broke.
He out here struggling. He's struggling. That brother's struggling. He's struggling.
When you put it that way, he'd have been around the block a few times. He might.
Yeah. He got some issues. I take the T'Challa. I take the T'Challa.
That's funny.
Okay, I do like it. I appreciate that. I do like that you answered that question. Thank you for answering that question.
Of course. I love it. Thanks for asking.
You're welcome. All right, so let's move on to segment 5, real life, real talk. So, what does your own self-care practice look like? What tools do you use to protect your peace and mental clarity?
Ooh, I use a lot. I am a practice what I preach type of person, and I don't give out anything that I have not tried myself. So I'm really deep in it because I'm a therapist. I do this every day. So if I'm not okay, probably the stuff I'm giving you is not okay. I'm not coming from a good place. I believe that. I believe every therapist, if you have a therapist that does not have her own therapist, you should probably run quickly, fast, out the way.
I'm gonna ask my therapist if she got a therapist.
I hope so.
I'm gonna ask her that.
My therapist, but my therapist had a therapist, so now she got a therapist.
You have to. So I do my own, get my own therapist, because I try to therapize myself, and then it's a thin line between therapist Alante and worldly Alante.
It don't work. You need a professional.
So I see my own therapist. I make sure that I do things that feeds my soul, speaks to my soul. I make sure to hold boundaries. When I first started, I was always working. If a client needed me, they knew they could reach out. I'm going to stop everything I'm doing. But again, it depletes you. If you don't have a separation between what you do and who you are, you will lose yourself in that. Even as a mom, if you don't have a clear separation from mom to individual, you will lose yourself in being a mom. And I have so many times. Well, it only took me one time to do that. Funny story, I'll tell you this story real quick. I was a stay-at-home mom, and I was in school at the same time. And my kids used to eat these like little dinosaur nuggets type of thing. And I was so sick of eating kid food, nuggets and grapes. I'm like, what the hell? I'm a grown up. Like, I need
look. I'm gonna put this on the podcast. As a man that dates your best friend, ain't nothing wrong with some nuggets.
And some grapes too. I'm like, okay.
There's not, no,
little place.
I am not knocking them. It was just all the time.
Chicken is our lives over here.
Love chicken. But it should have been like chicken wings for me or something. It was just always kid food. And I told my husband, I'm like, please go get me something I like from the store. I'm tired of eating these nuggets. And he said, okay, what do you want? What do you like? And that question just knocked me off my feet. I had no idea what I liked. I didn't know what I wanted. And that's when I realized, like, I'm not even an individual. I'm just a mama at this point. I'm just a student at this point, you know? And that's when I realized there has to be a clear separation at some point. I'm always going to be mom. I'm always going to be wife. But who do I look like as an individual? So keeping my hobbies, continuing to go out with friends. I'm not as good as that as I should be, but trying to make time for social time, quiet time. Oh my gosh, that is something I love. I don't get much of it. So when I get it, I'm going to indulge in some quiet time. It's never quiet in my house, but when I get it, that's what I do. So making sure, again, making myself a priority. It's easy to be a mom and the kids are a priority. Your husband's a priority. My clients are the priority. But at some point, I have to be that priority as well. Filling up my own cup so that when I come, burnout is real. I don't want to be burned out in any of the hats that I wear. So I have to make sure that I'm just feeding myself constantly.
It is good to put the hats down. Like, it really is. Because we are, as all humans, we're always juggling so many hats that we got to put on. It is good to just take it off and just relax.
And
just take a minute.
And be nobody. You know, be nobody for a little while. One of my favorite techniques that I use that really centers me, brings me back to gratitude. I do glad journaling. And I love this just because it helps you focus on what is good in your life right now. Not what happened yesterday, not what is currently falling apart in your life, but what's good right now. And that always brings me back to reality. Glad journaling, and I'm a Jesus freak. I love God. So I pray before all sessions because, you know, sometimes I am walking in as Alante. And I ask God, you know, take me out of the equation. Be my words, be my thoughts, be my empathy, be my sympathy, be all the things that I cannot be right now, and show up so I can help your people, because I feel like he's put me here to help touch somebody. And I hope that I'm always doing what he wants me to do. So I'm always intentional and conscious that I'm an individual and I'm a human too. So having to separate that from what I do is really what helps me a lot.
Very important.
Okay. Do you ever? So we may have talked about it kind of earlier, but the question is: do you ever bring personal wellness routines, cannabis to personal wellness routines, journaling and reflection? Do you smoke pretty much when you do these things?
Oh yeah. When I'm at home, like, again, I can't come in my office and just blow it down. So not then. But if I'm
a long day today,
right. But if I am at home and I have that space, my kids are not, around, that is definitely one of my best times. You know, I have my candles, my plants, my diffusers and things going, and I love, smoke, write, meditate, even just sit in silence and be kicking it with my girl, Mary Jane. So yes, of course.
Love that.
Gotcha. What advice would you give to a mom or a young professional struggling with stress or identity?
Oh gosh, that is a great question. Because I have this question all the time with clients. And identity is one of those things that can change. It's interchangeable sometimes. And a lot of times when we become a mom, we do lose ourselves. But then when we try to pick ourselves back up, we're trying to get back to that version that we were before we were a mom, before we wore all these hats. And it's like, well, that version's dead. She's gone. She's out of here. Because the more we try to get to that person, the more we're probably going to fail. That version of us doesn't exist anymore. So we have to figure out who we are as a mom or as an individual that is a mom as well. So looking at new hobbies, things that you might have thought about but didn't have the time or didn't have the money to do it. Try that. Or you can revisit an old hobby to see if you still like that, but that version of yourself is no more. So we have to recreate or understand what this version of us looks like. What does this version of you, what type of interest does she have? 20-year-old self would have never had a house full of plants at all. Now I have like 18 plants in my house, you know? So I'm still Alante, but this is a different version. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with being a different version. And I think a lot of people fall apart. And they're like, oh, I used to be this and I used to be that. You can still be a force, but what does it look like now? You know?
Yeah, I hear you. Hey, it is very important to make sure you know who you are and where you stand in present, like in the present for sure.
Right.
Because if you're not able to present that true form of yourself, you're not really presenting anything at all. You know what I'm saying? You're just hiding behind masks a lot of the times. So
Yep.
yeah, I feel that. I feel that.
And even, you know, trying to get back to who we were, 20-year-old self, teenage self that was fun and energetic and all that stuff. It comes with a little depression because it's like you're not going to get back to that. We're older. The things that used to interest us don't anymore, and that's okay. That is fine. I used to do that all the time. I want to go back and do this, and every time I get there, I'm like, this is not what it used to be because I'm not what I used to be. You know, so we got to give a gratitude to who we are now and not who we used to be.
I feel you. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next segment. I appreciate that segment. These have all been good questions. We got a good interview on our hands.
Yeah.
So this is purpose driven mission. You've been transparent about wanting to change the narrative for our people when it comes to mental health. What triggers your bigger vision? What do you see as a bigger vision?
My bigger vision is to equip all brown people with the techniques, with the wisdom that comes with mental health. So many times I see great people, but they're defeated by their mental health. And my bigger picture is to open up the doors, open up, the access to mental health to more of my people that might feel like, oh, not today, or I'll do that when, or whatever the case may be. So my bigger picture has always been, like pop-up shops, but in a therapy sense, where I have a few of my, don't y'all steal my idea either, but not y'all, I'm talking about my other people out there, do pop-up shops where I have a few clinicians that come out and for free. And we could do little pop-up shops where people could just come in and just drop it in the communities, in the brown communities, the black, I hate to say just black, that's why I say brown communities of all brown colored people. Because I feel like other races, and I don't like being, black and white, things like that, but I feel like other races have always had access to these benefits when it comes to mental health. I always hear people say, oh, that's a white woman's problem, that we don't have time to be depressed. We don't have time. Yes, we,
oh my goodness.
we do. We are. We're just very high functioning with it, very high functioning. So if I can get to those people that think that they don't have the time to be depressed or they don't have the time to have anxiety, I think that opens up new doors, new access, the bigger picture of things, because I like to meet you where you are. And if I can come to your doorstep and say, hey, you want to talk? Or, hey, we're going to be up the street. Just come see what we got. Come see what we're talking about, you know?
Hit the spot. Get you a free Coke and some snacks.
You know? But that's my bigger picture. I want to meet my community where they are, because for some reason we think, and it's not just for some reason, I think it's been, I call it the Black woman anthem. And the Black man too. Nobody really talks about the Black man too much, where he has to just keep going with everything on his back. He got to be provider, head of household. He got to be all these things. And if he talks about his feelings at any given moment, he's weak. And I don't believe in that. So grabbing him, grabbing the moms, the Black woman anthem, that I just got to keep going, No, sis, you're killing yourself. We got to stop, take a moment, and talk to our hearts and talk to our minds, because mental health is killing us. Stress is killing us. But nobody really realizes that until I can get to you. When you come in my office, I let you know all those things. But I'm just one person,
No, don't say that you're just one person, because it starts with one.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I'm really happy that we had you on the show, because you're saying a lot of things that resonate with me, and something I've noticed for a really long time, in our community, in the Black community, but from my perspective, my upbringing, I noticed that my family, mental health in their eyes was not even a real thing.
Yeah.
It's all in your head, or it's, oh, depression is a demon. That's not. They have such a warped, ignorant idea of mental health, to the point where there was no mental health. You know what I mean? There is no mental health. Y'all are messed up. All y'all crazy. How come so-and-so gets to just go off? How come? Why is nobody checking him?
Yeah.
Why is nobody worried about what's going on up there?
Absolutely.
That was my grandma saying, you have a mental problem. You got something wrong with you.
Just in my own family, I can only imagine. Yeah. And I don't know where that came from. I'm not even sure where that started, but we're completely disadvantaged as a community for mental health. And that's literally, mental health is everything. How you're talking to yourself is everything.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I appreciate the sentiment for saying men are the issue. In current times, men need to deal with their feelings. Okay, bro. It is okay to go talk to somebody about what you need to figure out. Fine. It's not gonna make you less of a masculine man to actually go in and do deeper work to make sure you're a better person.
People don't want to be held accountable, though, and people enjoy playing the victim. It's easier for them.
Yes, I see that a lot too. But I have a few men clients as well. And the safest place is when they come into my office and they can express how they feel. And I'm always an advocate for the Black man. My husband, I think I annoy him sometimes because I'm always, how you feeling? What's going on? Let's talk. I'm good. I'm all right. And I'm like, it's that stigma that they hold on their shoulders all the time. They have to be strong. They have to be, and there's nothing wrong with that either. But at the same time, when you need a break, I need you to say, I need a break. I need you to say it's too much. I need you to say, I need to sit down and talk to somebody. I need a mental health day. But it's so shunned upon for the Black man. And I cannot stand that. But I'm the biggest advocate for the Black man. They have feelings too. The same ones us women have. They have them. As much as they don't want to say it, as much as no one wants to acknowledge it, they have the same stuff going on. And I think we would have a better quality of the Black man if they were able to be free and express today I ain't feeling it. Just like us women, we come in the building and be like, don't nobody talk to me. I'm good. I'm done. I don't want to talk.
on.
It's like, oh, what's
Go
wrong
away.
with him? He needs a moment as well. I'm not saying do it in that, realm, but understanding that they are human as well. They're up on this pedestal that they are and they are Superman. I look at my husband as Superman too, but I also got to look at him as a human that has human needs as well. And I don't think society, we do the black man, all men, I'm not even gonna say black man, we do all men a disservice with not connecting with them in that way and understanding that they have feelings as well. So I'm a big advocate for the man. I know some women hate it, but I am right there because I get it. I definitely get it.
Yeah.
Did I answer the question at all?
You did. You answered the
Okay.
question, and then we had a little conversation. Yeah.
Okay.
just a little conversation. I do got one more question, and then we'll go for the closing because we are coming to time. So when your clients leave your care, what do they hope to take with them? Like, what is the hope that you want, and what is the hope that you think that they would want?
Oh gosh. I'm hoping that they feel that they were heard. I'm hoping that they feel that, and I hear clients say this all the time, Alante's not going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm like medicine. It don't taste good. It don't feel good, but it's good for you. Everything I tell you is good for you. And I hope that they leave my care empowered and not a victim. They leave knowing that what I got, what I need is inside of me, and I have the tools, I'm equipped, and I can do it. So I hope that my clients leave better than when they came in, empowered.
Oh, that's the whole goal. That's the whole goal.
Absolutely.
Love to hear that. So we're closing up, right? Wrapping up.
Yes, wrapping up.
Tell us, how can we follow you? Like your links and any last words. What's on the horizon? What you're excited about?
Yes.
I can't think of the question we usually ask at the end. Oh yeah, what is the last? If you had one last moment, who do you want on the podcast? That's one. Two, and then two is, if there's one special tidbit, if you'll have the floor, you can say whatever you want, that you can leave with everybody in the cannabis community. What would your big piece, or what would be your big thing you would say to the cannabis community to keep it moving forward?
Okay. So the person that I would probably want to see, she's also another therapist, but this lady does everything. She's a therapist. I think she goes and she speaks at conventions and things. She's a model. What else does she do? And she's an esthetician, I believe. Her name is Miss Chelsea Smith. She wears so many hats. I think she would be a great asset to you all. If I was going to leave anything to the cannabis community, I would probably say be mindful. And when you are partaking, be mindful of who's around and what's around. And if you can connect with someone or show them something different or show them love out of what you guys are doing in the moment, if cannabis is in the realm, be mindful of that. If you got the opportunity to show love while you guys are connecting that type of way, do so. If you are able to lend a hand while you're partaking, or socially or recreationally or whatever you're doing, be mindful of what you're doing while you are partaking. That makes sense.
Gotcha. All right.
Well, Alante, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your heart, your story, and your wisdom. Yes. You've given us and our audience so many gems to carry forward when it comes to healing, breaking stigma, and finding balance. And as always, shout out to our producer, Anthony Gaines, the man behind OH-HighYo podcast and making this platform possible. If you enjoyed today's conversation, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on social. Subscribe. Hit the bell for the notification.
Hit the button.
And keep tuning as we continue to bring you more stories at the intersection of cannabis, culture, and community. Thank you. Bye.
Kayla, you bye.
For being